Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 21st episode of Carnival Cruising Podcastaways, the podcast that can now drink and where we talk about anything and everything Carnival Cruising related. My name is Trevor Shelby, and joining me on this cruising adventure is my good friend, Thomas Kennedy.
Oh, when the Saints go marching in.
Oh,
Woo!
oh,
Oh,
yeah.
when the Saints go marching in. Hey, yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
yeah.
hey. I
Oh,
feel a theme coming on.
yeah.
Do you know how I got these beads that I'm wearing? Well, they're on my door. I'm not actually wearing them.
How'd you get them? There, you got a mountain of beads all over. I barely see your face.
Yeah, I mean, I flashed some people. My moves
Oh,
are all over the internet.
holy crap!
Yeah. May the 4th be with you. This is being recorded on the 4th.
Yeah. Yes. Live long and prosper. And we
I am
will.
going to hurt you so bad. That is not the proper response.
That is, isn't it?
No.
You say May the 4th, and I say live long and prosper.
No. May the
So,
4th be with you and
yes.
also with you.
Oh, yes, yes. Wonderful quote by Doctor Who. So
Oh, I'm gonna kick you so hard.
what are you going on about?
Wonderful. Oh my god.
That was after he ran into Gandalf and
Oh.
Dumbledore all at the same time.
Oh.
Timey-wimey. Anyways, so we got a great episode for you guys today. We're going to touch on some very interesting topic, which is one that we have talked about because we've been doing a lot of ports or a lot of where we like to cruise out of. And so I guess you could say our second home port is this episode. It's our home away from home, which our home is Galveston, if you haven't already known that. But
well, my home's in Tulsa.
no, we're talking about our home ports.
Oh, home port.
Yes. So we are talking about New Orleans and how wonderful of a port that is. And so
do you actually remember New Orleans?
I remember a lot of it, and vaguely.
I mean, by the time I got there, you were pretty heavily lit.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed it. So it's not my favorite place to go because it is so expensive.
Very expensive.
But if it's one of those times that you're cruising and you've got some money to blow and you want to have a good time, there's a billion things to do in that city. A billion.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I think that's our tagline.
A billion things to do in that city.
Yeah, it's billion things to do in our city. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I think it's something French.
Yeah. Well, that's what it means in French. I mean, like, I would say je suis à la piscine, but that's what it means is billion things to do in this city. So
no.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't just say I am a swimming pool.
Yes, you did. I haven't taken French in over 30 years, and that's exactly what it means.
I'm not sure about that. But anyways, it is the language of love. It is the city of love. I think that's their tagline. And we are going to go ahead and cover New Orleans in pretty good detail. So we're going to talk about some previous stories that we've had there in the city and what the port is like.
Just remember, going out of New Orleans is, kind of like pre-partying.
Yes.
For your cruise, because you got lines of bars and restaurants, but the restaurants aren't free, unfortunately.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But you get to see drunk people everywhere.
Everywhere. You could be one of them.
We were one of them.
We were definitely one of them. So our first trip, well, when it was me and you,
yeah,
going into New Orleans, We were going on the Carnival Sunshine, and it was
Yes.
back when they were in New Orleans.
It was actually the second cruise out of New Orleans, I believe. And that was actually the one where you actually proposed to your wife on,
Yes.
which,
Yes.
I'm surprised that, she actually said yes because
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
Shoot.
that you got, wow.
I was ready
I
for her to
don't,
chuck that ring right in the ocean.
I, s- that I didn't think that she was going to do that, but, I was going to
Hmm.
take the ring and run,
Yeah.
maybe, but maybe that's why you did it in the middle of the ocean, so she couldn't like run from you.
So yeah, we met up. We both traveled separately, got there, and I had an eventful drive there, but we met up and we had a plan to go to a certain bar that
Yeah.
was on that show that you like.
Yeah, it was a bar rescue bar called Spirits on Bourbon Street. Um,
Yes.
it they're the home of the Resurrection, and I swear it is every bit as cool as it was on the TV show.
Yes. We watched Dueling Pianos. It seemed like forever there. We were there for quite a
Yeah,
while,
yeah, we were. Um,
and it
we
was
had
really
some good.
good. I mean,
The
like,
food was good and the drinks were
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Um,
We walked, and this kind of dates it a little bit, but we were walking around making vines while we were doing this. But we walked by this one place, and you know where I'm going with this. So we stopped out in front of this strip club, and we were talking, and the I think the bouncer was trying to convince everybody to come in, and we were about to just pass it up because we weren't going to
Well,
go
I
in.
mean, the door kept opening and we didn't if we went in, we would have had to pay a cover, but if we were just standing there when they opened the door, which they did quite often,
Yeah.
you could see everything.
Yeah. And when we say everything, we mean everything. So the bouncer is talking to everyone, and he keeps screaming out, "It's titty time." And we thought that was so funny. I think we were trying to actually get that on video. You remember that?
We
We
were
were trying
trying
to
to
get
get
that
that
on
on
video.
video.
And so because we thought that was hilarious.
I
And
mean, and one time whenever right after he said it, that's when that one dancer like
yes.
climbed the door frame.
Yeah. So this dancer sneaks out. He doesn't notice, and she's wearing just like a string everything and leaves nothing to the imagination, especially on her rear end. And she grabs the top of the door that was behind him, pulls herself up the door, and she's like twerking on this door, and or attempting to. And
She
she
was very talented.
she was very talented, but as I turned around, I was cracking up because there were all these kids with their cell phones out just recording everything going on. The bouncer turned around and like picked her up and was like, "Get in there." And he like
Well, we
threw her
were
back
one
in the
of
building.
them. We were one of them, but that video somehow disappeared.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to it. But yeah, no, I was just trying to get the bouncer, and then she came out. But it was so funny, and
I wonder if
I
she graduated, if she, got enough to graduate college.
maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought it was so funny that all those kids were there, and the bouncer didn't pay any attention until all those kids whipped out their cell phones. It was really funny. And they were getting their quick pictures in because that was amazing them. They were quite amazed by what was going on. I will say this about New Orleans. I love going without my children.
Well, yeah.
My children are adults now. But so like now, like I would be totally okay with them coming with me.
Well, the time that we're talking about, though, they weren't
Yeah.
with you guys.
Now, yeah. When they were children, this is what, 10 years ago when we went on this cruise. And it was, yeah, they were like youngins, so preteens, and so I would not have wanted them on this trip.
It would have been educational.
It would have been very educational. They would have aced that anatomy quiz. So, but no, we
Now,
we made our way. That was before we hit the bar. We actually
yeah,
walked down. We got into the bar. We talked to, or we
we
had a
watched
good time.
some street musicians
We
too.
watched some street musicians. So we had a good time.
Yeah,
And you were staying outside of New Orleans.
yeah. I was staying in
And
Gonzales with some friends.
yes, and so we walked back towards my hotel to where you had parked, and I told you I'm going to go back to the bar.
Yeah,
And
which this whole time, because I'm 3 months out of knee surgery, I'm trying to ignore the fact that my knee all of a sudden started hurting, because
yes.
this is the most amount of walking I've done since I got out of surgery, even with the physical therapy and stuff, and my
Mhm.
knee just started throbbing,
Yeah.
which plays into effect into the rest of the cruise.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
So I went back, and I, like, after a couple of drinks and getting the chair shot, I don't remember a whole lot beyond
I
this
would,
this
after
night.
you told me that, once we got embarked and everything, I was just like, how are you here?
Yeah. So this is the night before our cruise, and apparently I sent a text message to my wife that the Mississippi River looks amazing. And so she starts freaking out, thinking that I'm in the Mississippi River. The one thing I do remember is I did talk to a police officer at one point. He was on a horse, and I asked him something about, do you ride that horse everywhere? And I talked to a guy that he was wearing a bunch of fruit on his head, and he was wearing like a salsa dress.
Really?
Yeah, he was a very large man, and I remember saying something about, like, I love those bananas or something. I don't
Oh,
remember. Like,
oh,
like those look great. I don't know. I remember saying something about his crazy fruit hat, because it was like all the fruit stacked up in, like, in a Marge Simpson do kind of thing, goes way up
yeah,
high.
one of those
So
Caribbean, what?
yes,
Yeah, well,
yeah,
Caribbean style.
right. And so I was like, whatever. But I made it back to the hotel miraculously. And
Of course, Megan was mad at me because I
mhm,
left you there.
yes, but honestly, you walked me back to the
Yeah,
hotel.
I
I made the
did.
decision to walk out, so it wasn't really your fault.
Yeah, I know. We walked. Well, I remember, making. I don't know. Remember where we split? Because I thought you were right behind me. Whenever we got to the block edge, to where I
Yeah,
was either
well,
go
that's
to
where
the
we split
hotel
up.
or to the parking garage,
Yeah,
and then I looked and I assumed you were back in the hotel, but apparently you turned around.
yes. Yes. And that it was like that next day was the cruise, I believe.
Yeah.
And that morning I had talked to Megan's mom about I was going to propose, and asking her if that was okay, especially after they were all worried about me. They were on some kind of tour thing that night. But no,
Yeah,
that was a fantastic cruise.
there's all
Um,
sorts of great excursions in New Orleans itself,
yes.
from
So,
Segway tours to cemetery tours to
mhm,
vampire tours, which
right.
vampires do exist in New Orleans,
Yes, they do,
sort of.
kind of.
People who think they're vampires,
Yeah,
actually.
you know. Then my second time, I will say, in New Orleans, was I was on a family cruise, and that is the time I had a few days there, and I got to eat the food. I got to there's a lot of places that are like real fancy, like real nice, good food. And we did a tour that was like a ghost tour. And now I will tell you, I do not believe in the supernatural, and it's not my thing. And my wife did, however, while we were in a cemetery, take a picture of me that had one of those orbs next to me, like, like a white spot. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, that is kind of weird. Because it was like a spot that like that's supposed to happen. And I was like, okay, this is weird. But it was a cool tour. You got to tour some of the cemeteries at night. There's not a lot of those cemeteries you could actually go into at night.
Yeah.
And we had special permission to go into a couple.
Now there, the big cemetery there that has Madame Trudeau's uh grave.
Yes.
That one, you cannot get in to that cemetery unless you have a family member in that cemetery because of Madame
Right.
Trudeau.
Right.
So unless you're on a tour, you can't get in that cemetery. So
Hmm.
everything is closed off on that one.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, that was a great time. I'm trying to think of the place that we ate at. The what's the place with the beignets?
Oh, that's
Cafe
Cafe
Dumont.
Dumont. Yeah.
Dumont, yeah. Cafe Dumont. Now, I will say that I was going to be extra. And you know how I wake up early? I get up early every morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to get up early. I'm going to go get some beignets, bring them back. Everybody can have beignets in bed, and it'll be great. And so I wasn't going to drive. I walked. And so we're talking, it's I probably got on the road about 5 a.m. ish. And as I got into town, I found the first body. And I don't know how else to explain this. It was a woman in a party dress on the street, passed out, like on the sidewalk. Like not on the street, but like on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my god. Oh my god, there's like a dead person." She was not dead. Okay. She was homeless. I did not realize because she looked very fancy for a homeless person. And as I walked around, I was like, wow, like there were a lot of homeless people. And I actually, I've worked with a lot of like organizations with the homeless and all that. And so doing a lot of housing and everything. And so like I was this kind of interested about it. Like it was more than I'm used to in Oklahoma City. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were just sleeping on the sidewalk, like flopped out. It was just interesting.
Well, hell, I mean, they don't. There are a lot of people, in New Orleans who party so hard that they just pass out on the street anyway, and they're not
Right.
homeless.
Yeah.
You know.
And then I found out that the Cafe Dumont does not accept cards. So I had to go find an ATM, and finding a working ATM at 5 in the morning proved a lot harder than I
Well, you'd been
anticipated.
up for 5 hours already anyway, so I
Yeah,
mean,
so there you go. I found one though, but it ended up being more of a trip than I intended. But it was fun. But
I really enjoyed that area, like right next to Cafe Du Monde, with the jazz player statues.
yes,
That's a really pretty place. I like that.
yes, we ate there. There's a restaurant, and I don't remember what it's called. It was down the street from Cafe Dumont, and this other place had beignets,
Um,
and they were not nearly as busy.
yeah,
That's Cafe Dumont.
yeah, you could tell that they weren't that busy. Yeah.
Yeah, and we ate there our first trip, and so I kind of missed out that first trip, and then that second trip I actually got to eat it.
Now,
So
now you like seafood, right?
yes.
Okay, so next time you go, I was told about this place. It's just south of New Orleans.
Okay.
It's all you can eat seafood for like $40. And
Okay.
it's it's fresh seafood. I mean, it's right, right there off the Gulf.
Right.
So, it's fresh seafood and it's like $40 all you can eat.
Nice.
So,
So the actual port there in New Orleans is there's a couple things I like about it better, and there's a couple things I don't. Better than
I
Galveston.
I really liked how fast it was
Yes.
to get through security.
Yes. My
I
favorite
well,
thing.
I say that, but I had to go through the metal detector 5 times because I forgot my knee brace was on.
Yeah. My favorite thing was the parking inside the garage.
Yeah.
And because you go up the little spiral thing, you get to the top, and there's your porter. And your porter's ready to grab your stuff and just let you park. And it was painless, and they took the luggage right out of the car, and they it was on its way, and they were
Sweet.
very friendly porters, and they let us park, and it's always been so simple getting in and out of that place. The thing that bugs me the most about Galveston is parking, getting on a bus. Well, actually, it's going to the
Drop
port,
off.
drop off your luggage, going to park, getting on a bus, going back to the pier, and getting on, then going through everything to get on the ship. Then when you get off the ship, you're dragging your luggage onto the bus, and you go wait in
But
that super long line.
I think they do that because getting on the boat, you have to go uphill
Yes.
because you are below sea level. So no matter where you're at in New Orleans, if you want to see the river, you look up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it but
which
yeah,
really freaks me out.
yeah. Cruising through the river is a different experience
Oh
too.
yeah, because you have phone service until at least midnight.
Yeah, you have phone service for quite a while, and you get to go under the bridge there, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
really kind of cool. You're
The whenever you get to the mouth of the river where the river meets the Gulf, you can see where the water the fresh water meets the salt water and it
yeah,
doesn't mix. It's just cool.
yeah.
Um,
Everything looks neat. It's just a kind of a cool a different atmosphere, I'll put it that way, than coming out of Galveston.
Now I would like to do it in this time of year because I've only been out of New Orleans in like winter, so
Yes.
it's been dark like almost an hour after we leave.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice to watch the river go by, or the everything from you can see from the river go by in daylight.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be a lot better because I remember we hit. By the time we get on, it's not too long after we go through everything, and then it's like it's time to eat,
Yeah.
and then like it's just like pitch black out there. So yeah, because we usually do the early dining, and
Hmm.
it it just like you step out and it's dark. It's like okay, well.
Well, I guess we're gonna go watch a movie then.
Yeah. And then you're kind of like judging things by like how far you're out in your cell service by the like
Yeah.
the oil stuff that's out there.
Yeah, exactly.
See little flames everywhere. But pretty
But
cool.
yeah, I had a going out of it. The people going out of New Orleans, it's a different vibe going out of New Orleans,
Really is.
the passenger wise than it is out of Texas. Of course, we only have Texas and New Orleans to judge off of, but when we do the family reunion
Oh
cruise
yes, the family reunion cruise.
next year in May,
Mm-hmm.
we'll get to experience Miami.
Yeah. So tell me more about this Miami cruise. Miami,
So
yeah, the family reunion
the
cruise.
family reunion cruise starts on May 20
20th.
20th. It's an 8-day cruise on the Celebration. it goes to Bonaire, it goes to Curacao, and it goes to Aruba. And actually, put Aruba first, and then Curacao last, and that's
Yeah,
the itinerary.
that's
Um,
the order. But you're going to those places.
yeah, they're long stops for Curacao for Aruba and Bonaire, because it's 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Yes.
and I've never been at a port that long in my life.
Yeah. So if you when we say family reunion cruise, we're not actually saying this is our family reunion. We're not
No,
related.
we're
But
talking like creator families that we've
yes.
become friends with.
Yes. So this is actually kind of an open invitation. If you're listening and you want to join in, there's going to be a lot of smaller creators that like YouTubers, podcasters, all kinds of stuff that's going to be on this cruise.
Our past
And
guests have Luggage Will Travel. Amanda is one of the people helping plan this.
yes, and we'll actually have her information linked below. So if you want to inquire about it, you can give them a call. The It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think Josh said they're going to try to get a big table so we can all be sitting at a big giant table as one big happy dysfunctional family. So I'm very excited about this. I think it's going
I
to be a lot of
am
fun,
too.
and I think it'd be good to just kind of meet and see everybody. So
Yeah, I mean, the meeting people live that we talked to, like we've got an upcoming interview with one of the people who's probably going to be on that cruise.
yeah, I hope so. I really
Yeah,
hope so. And so, but yeah, so I do know that have luggage with have luggage will
really,
travel. Yeah, I messed up.
Josh, Amanda, are you sure you want him as your best friend?
That's edited out. Uh, have luggage will travel will be there. I think Parker's on the go are planning to be there, and a few other creators. So definitely, definitely, if you're interested, go ahead, give Amanda a call, and we can see about getting you added to the family reunion. Welcome to the family, folks. So you got a question for us today?
Yes, I do, and it's from a brand new fan
Ooh.
on our Carnival Cruising Podcastway group.
Oh.
His name is Joseph. I let him in just 5 hours ago, actually.
You really?
Yeah. He said, "Thanks for the ad. Love the podcast and the info and stories you share." I don't know if that's good or not.
Yeah, that might not be great.
I'm not sure, but going on our first cruise in 8 years in October, and can't wait. Any advice for taking young kids? The There will be a boy 8, a girl 7, a boy 6, and a boy 3. TIA. Which
Oh,
didn't we?
we know what that means.
Yeah, we all know
So,
that. Yeah.
like kids on a cruise. So, here's my thought with kids on a cruise. Don't.
Don't? Did you really say don't?
Yeah, I
Wow.
really did. No, I'm kidding. So, I would actually say that if you're cruising with kids, especially youngins, don't hold back. I mean, it's cruising is fun, period. There is a lot of things and activities for kids to do. And so a lot of times they're going to be so occupied with things going on that they're going to be having a blast.
Kids that young, and I've been, besides Trevor's children, the people we used to cruise with all the time, I've watched them grow up on cruises, and they made friends in Club Ocean and stuff like that they still talk to on Facebook and Insta
Yeah.
all the time, and some of them Snapchat. But it gives them a chance to make friends, so they're not bored.
Mhm.
Don't need that video games. They do have video game systems, available to them.
Right. A whole arcade.
Yeah, the whole arcade. But they also will give time for you, and if you're married or dating someone, give you time to have some, you know, couple time.
Yeah.
They'll even take them out to dinner one night, so you guys can have a nice dinner for two.
Yeah. My last cruise, the cruise director had a game that he played where he ended every single broadcast that he put over the intercom and he would say a cereal name. And so he started with Cheerio because the
Yeah.
Cheerios, and then he would do everything, and then he would wait, and you could hear all the kids. They would stop and listen to hear what he was going to say, and he'd say Fruit Loops, and then hang up. And then it was really funny, and like he kept it up through the whole cruise. It was amazing,
Wow.
and I don't think he repeated once. He did a different cereal every single time. It was so funny.
Wow.
And I got to where I was doing it. The kids would stop. I'm like stopping with them, like listening, like, oh,
What
what
do
is he
we?
gonna say?
What's going on? What's this? What's the code?
Yeah. So my wife had to explain it to me because she overheard the whole conversation about it.
Oh
So
yeah.
it was really funny.
But also, like if you're cruising at Christmas time, they
Hmm.
actually have a Christmas show that the kids get to participate in.
Yeah. And it's all decorated for Christmas, the whole
Yep.
ship. And Halloween, there's all kinds of like Halloween parties and costume parties.
So
Yeah. Yeah. And so I recommend it. My kids have loved it, and so now they're well, I'm trying to think how close to platinum they are. they're not they're
uh,
not they're not horribly far off.
I think
So
they're sitting up mine me because they only missed like two cruises with us.
yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I if it wasn't for COVID and all that, like we would be a they would almost probably have it.
yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I recommend taking kids. There's very little downside to it. So there's excursions that are made for kids. There are so many activities that you can do with your kids or have your kids do. If you've got older kids, like you might be lucky to see them come back at night. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
I had to get the ship chat just to figure out where Tyler was all the time. So, but
but
yeah.
so
Anyways, I think
you
we
got a
should wrap
question?
up. Oh, I
No.
did have a question. We got a good one. We got a good one. Hang on, hang on. One question from a perhaps loyal listener, maybe perhaps not. Let me see here. Did I lose it? No, here it is. Has anyone ever seen a dolphin from their balcony on a cruise?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes, we
Yes.
have.
We have seen a dolphin, and I think I woke everyone up when we saw that one dolphin.
Yeah, you
And
did. That first one, the cove balcony we
we were on a
had.
cove balcony. We were coming back into Galveston, and it was the morning we were to get off the ship.
Yeah.
And the ship was dredging up, like it was like had muddy water coming out
Yeah.
around the ship, and I kept calling it poo water because it looked like looked like we were dumping the sewer into the ocean. And so I kept making jokes about it, and I forget, I think it was Joey or somebody was out there with me. And
Yeah, I think it was Joey.
yeah, so we were like chit-chatting, and like out of the corner of my eye I saw something jump out of the water and back into the water, and I was like, was that a dolphin?
Oh, yeah.
Was that a dolphin? And so like in we were one of the few balconies that had our light on, that in it the light shined down onto the water almost like a spotlight,
Yeah.
and that dolphin was kind of jumping in that. And so I think we got you guys up, and like sure enough, the dolphin was there. We kept calling him the poo dolphin. He was enjoying what was coming out of our ship.
Oh. I mean,
But I don't.
I saw dolphins before we left.
Yeah.
You saw it when we pulled up, but before you leave, it's daylight and better. But yeah, they're swimming all around in Galveston.
Yeah. In a cove balcony, you're close enough. You can really see the little flying fish that kick up out of the waves, and they got their little fins that come out, and they kind of like
Yeah,
shoot through wave, all like wave after wave after wave. They're pretty cool. You see like schools of them.
yeah. So, and you can see jellyfish and
Yep.
all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But
Pretty cool stuff. And then trash. You see lots of trash out in the middle of nowhere. Like, huh, man, there's trash out
huh,
here.
there's a
That's weird.
there's a water bottle.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a note in it.
Oh,
Probably
God,
not.
Tom Hanks is alive. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he is.
No, of course he is. So he's a loyal listener. Anyways, so
Wilson.
all right, guys, that's all we got for you today. Make sure you go to our Facebook page over at facebook.com/Carnival Cruising Podcastaways. We got a group and a page. Make sure you join them both. They're just exciting things going on there. We got people asking a question, and it's so wonderful. A question. We got one.
Question.
I mean, I feel like we should celebrate. We got a question.
Yeah.
I mean, like, not that our previous questions weren't actually questions. They just may not have like come from, that group. So if you would like to ask us a question, go there. It's a lot of fun. I also have a YouTube, which is Peer Runners, and it's just youtube.com/Peer Runners. Also, know that you matter, you are significant, and you are loved.
And remember, everything that happens on the ship stays on YouTube. Bye.
See ya.